Everyone, good evening, everyone. Mazes okay speaking to us. Today is the Wednesday, the 2nd of March, 2022. And we say good evening to you, wherever you're watching me from. Welcome to Njenje Media TV. This evening, should I say that I am happiness more, but it's a new month and a new dawn. We would look at a couple of things. Oh dear, there are a lot of things happening. I would start with one of those things. In my state of Anambra, there are now known no-go areas. Everybody knows them. These are places we no longer go to them because somewhat we are angry, and because of our anger, we are now beginning to destroy ourselves. Again, many of you might hit the comment section and begin to write whatever you write, but I sit from a vintage position. I speak from a vintage position, a position of being well informed in the subject matter. Last week, on Saturday to be precise, in my state of Anambra, we lost someone from my community. He's nicknamed Pitobi. What was his crime? He came back from Lagos into Anambra State, back to Ezinifite, to bury someone. This is a young, promising man. He's not up to 40 yet. His crime was that he came back to bury someone. He went to Weki at Ubo. On his way back from Ubo, he was shot. Not on the leg. He was just shot and he died. You know where Ubo is. So there are reason why I'm saying this is we might need to begin to save our lives. There is a lot of madness happening out there. Many of us, what can you do? You know, it's sad, it breaks my heart. I like spending time here, but we are now being forced to relocate to other states. I mean, today I was told of a brother who was kidnapped in Oga. He came back from Japan. We are descending into anarchy. For those of you following me on Twitter, you go to Twitter, you see what I've tweeted today. And I'm saying this as a note of warning too. I finished having a conversation. One of the reasons why I came late to this broadcast is that I was having a private conversation, an interview with Ezenwine. You know the woman, she's a psychic. She's the one that saved thousands of Biafran children. She lives in Oka. Many of you might have watched the interview I have with her, and there are many of the interviews coming out. She told me something today. Let me quickly get my tweets. And I tweeted this, with her permission, and I well then let me quickly find that tweet. Where is it? Yet, Chief Dr. Ilonso. I'll bring the tweet on the screen. Maybe. Okay, actually, let me see if I can do that on my screen. So if you are not following me yet, on my Twitter handle, please by all means follow me on my Twitter. You and I can always disagree, but we can always do that by being respectful to one another. What I personally would not tolerate is that because you disagree with me, you begin to threaten me and begin to call me names. I won't, and I will not do it to you. So if you do, be rest assured that one might be, I don't normally block people, but, I do not wish to, because there is no need to actually do that. So everyone, like I keep saying, let me see if I can push that tweet up to us. No, the tweet makes me a little bit on knees because I'm not saying that anything is going to happen. Again, any of you who know me also know that I rarely believe in some of these things. But if someone says, Mazi, I want you to tell the incoming governors of Anambra State the following things. Honestly, I struggle to say no. Because imagine if I keep quiet and anything happens. And maybe she rings me and says, Mazi, I warned you and I told you to warn the people of Anambra. And you said no. And you didn't warn them. What then happens? What then becomes of me? So because I do not know what tomorrow brings, if I'm even going to sleep and wake up tomorrow, because I don't know, so what then do I do? I have to take these things as they come. So here is what I mean here. In my conversation with Chief Dr. Ilonzo, Flora Ilonzo, she said, Naz, I want you to write, and unquote, it says, I want then everybody to pray for Anambra between the 14th and the 18th of March 2022. He said that for God to avert an impending calamity hovering around Anambra State, it says, if not averted, that means if this is not averted, that a lot of lives will be lost. Like, haven't we lost enough lives already? How many lives do we need to lose to even understand that we are losing lives? Again, I pack that to one side. I will come back to it. But let me come back to something here. Again, if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Mazezok. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. And this is Njenje Media TV. Some of you have been writing me privately saying, Mazi, you no longer come online. I said, listen, I understand that, but I'm only one person. I have a lot on my plate. When I say a lot, sometimes there are days I wish that I can have like 36 hours in a day. I mean, I'm saying, a lot is being done by staff. Everybody has their own, they do what they do. But I mean, myself, the things I do on a daily basis it could be crazy sometimes. And, finding time to always also come, speak to us because I love it. This community here on Njenje Media, you guys rock. I love you all. So, again, many of you are just joining me, Nelly on Onoha, Nago de Machuku, and Mosu Murphy, Henry Obia Julu. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Now, let me come down to what I want to talk about first, before I come back to the security again. Now, this is my state of Anambra. Okay? So, background story. If you're watching me and you're not Igbo and you don't understand what Anichie means, Anichie is when, a king has cabinet members. The way you have a governor has, legislative arm, cabinet. So that's the same way the traditional institutions have. So sometimes kindred send representatives and they call them Anichie in Igbo. And in this video you're about to watch, there is Anichie Tozo. That is, there is, just like in politics, there is Tozo. And I watched this video for the first time, I think around Sunday. You can imagine how long it took me to walk around my head, even to present it to us. In this Tozo, they said one guy maneuvered his way and kind of took it, or rather, trying to take it from an elderly person who ought to be the chair. And what they did, the community came together. They said they buried the man alive. I'm not making it up. You might be wondering, I'm talking about death and I'm laughing. I'm not making it up. But watch, you see why, you might understand why I'm laughing. Pay attention to this.
Nke a bụ Olisa Igbo nwa anyị na-afa akwado ihe nie na ndụ kwa ya na ndụ dịka okebunu ya si kwekọrịta so anyị na-afa eje mbala now chere nwetu ndidi ha dị too much ndị gap dị too much.
So, okay, the long story here, they are going to the during the olden days, during the time of my great grandfather, the time when men killed twins. And again, you have known my view about killing twins. It is barbaric, but again, it was done out of ignorance. Because if you and I lived then, we probably would have done same because we didn't know any different. So we didn't know that twin is something special. Out of ignorance, then they thought it was something evil. And here we are sitting in 2022 and we hear people talking on camera, going to bury somebody alive. Sorry, I'm laughing, but I didn't, at some point, because I got confused. So these are the men. Let me fast forward a little bit. Okay. So here they now got into the bush. This is Honolulu. This is Honolulu. And you see, one funny thing is, if you don't understand Igbo, I'll keep translating. He said, do not take the faces, just take the akbati. Just take the coffin or the casket. Okay? So that's, but the guy, these people, sorry, I found it funny. He said, don't take their faces, take only the casket. But eventually they granted an interview. I'm like, smart people. Oh, dear. Okay, so they are taking this individual, presumably this person, whether they drugged him, I don't know. They gave him whatever. I don't know. Obama says I should be serious. Listen, Nigerian problem not to kill me, right? Whether now Igbo or Lagos, you know, to kill me. I can't. What do you want me to do? To cry? So you see, they finished digging the grave already. So they'll put him there.
So I can egbochi ini.
So now
Emeka Igbo nwa. Onye si na ọma anụ ife ụmụnne ya kwuru, ife ụmụnne ya kwuru, ife o metọrọ eji isi ebu. Ndị okebunu niile nọ ebe a, unu anya, unu ya afụgasị ma ndị ichie anyị, ma ndị high chief, ma ndị idi, ma ndị okenye, ma ndị youth, ma chairman of okebunu ya, anyị chanye na-ezuru ezu ebe a. Okebunu ya as a village ya dị egwu n'ala. Ichangene, anyị ekenekwa anyị. Anyị ekene ya. A na-ebe ekpochi ini. Ọ ife ekwu ka a na-eme. Ọ bụrụ ife ekwekọta. Ya. I bịa nye 6 months ka ama nọ ya echegharị. Onupụ isi. Si ife ga-eme echi nye mebe taa. Ọ bụ ife okwu. Yes.
Biko ajụbụna m ajụ a before. Ngene nke izizi. Chiri ahụ 19 naanị. Ọmụgburie. Ọ bụ na ọmụgburie. Ihe Olise menye dịrị ya mma. Mana ọ bụ na ọ bụrụkwa mgburie na ndị ndụ. Olise Igbo nwa. Wee si na ekwokarị ya. O wee chie ichie ngere n'anya m ndụ. Anụ sikwa Olise tata. Ofonye ha akarị ọha. Maka ha mụ iwu n'isi mmadụ. Ihe abụ ya ikwekọrịtara. Years ago ahụ ne ama nọ 1998 ọ gịnị? 2018. So na onwe onye afụrụ wee iwu a. Onye ka Olise jara anya wee firuo na ya yakpu ebe na-esi no nwere ife a ga-eme na yakpu ebe na-esi n'imi ọ ihe anyị ukwe ka anyị na-eme mụbụ iche ngene akwado mie bikos anyị eji eni ogu ji eri ọfọ gwu ya ọbịa gosi ya nwee nwụta no mistake ya mere anyị hapụ ya mana wee rue tata ọ bụghị na date 26th of February ihe anyị na-eme January anyị si ka inye time so na mmụnwa bụ iche na izu ekwu ọ ga-adị etu a mụbụ iche ngere wee welizie ọfọ n'ogu ihe nkwuru ọ bụ na ọmụnwa bụrụ ichie nge n'izi ka m wee bụrụ ichie olise na nini ya ịnọ ya dịkwa ọrụ mma si ebe a binie mana ọ bụkwa na ọ bụ ọmụnwa bụrụ ichie ngene n'ifinu na n'ihe ịkara ekwo iwe chie ichie isi n'ichiri ichie ngene ka ndị ndụ a sịkwa m
okay. So I kept quiet. I didn't want to interrupt that anymore. You can imagine my outrage when I watched this. I was like, what? Are you for real? In 2022, say you burn somebody alive? I'm like, no way, that can happen. How? In 2022, freaking me. And all of you are there shoving your faces. You know, yeah, if this, that, I'm like, nah. This is Alo. This is the hometown of Dr. Chris Njenje, the minister of, which minister again? Minister of Labor and Productivity. Be serious. And I'm like, this is a serious crime. Because if this actually happened, listen, I do not care what the person in question has done. There is what you call due process. The whole people of our law should now be hiding in bunker because everybody, including everybody that appeared in this video, should be arrested immediately with immediate alacrity. But again, I started digging. I said, let me not work myself up. I started digging. And I find out this was symbolic. It was symbolic in the sense that, obviously, I believe they all knew the consequences of that action if it was real. I tell you, almost every one of them will be hanged. But what then happened is, you now come to think about it. It's basically enacting the ways of our forefathers, reenacting it back into 2022. And I'm like, why do we have the judicial process? I think even when that is symbolic, I think it's gone maybe far. According to information available, the guy in question, because when the police then had this, the police thought, oh, this is what happened. The police had to get involved, and eventually the guy in question went to police himself. He did he gone to the police himself and made statement, oh, okay, sorry, police, I wasn't killed. I wasn't buried alive. They did it only to scare, people. Or rather, they did it as symbolic that I was dead. I said, wow, that's a joke taken too far. Really, that's a joke really taken too far. That's the way I look at it. I think if not joke, make una stop it. It's not funny. So obviously you can probably explains why I was giggling at the beginning while I was saying that. I said, Kai, Allah. Like Paul Onuselogu says, Kai, Allah, my time. If go Arro Rondon. I hope you're not from Rondon. You don't live in Rondon. Yeah? Some of you are arguing that it's acceptable. No. Honestly, I think it's not acceptable. Let's be real, people. There is no reason we should be projecting and supporting something like this, because this could lead into commotion. If that guy really wanted to hurt them, he would disappear from our community and maybe send his brother to go report to the police that they buried my brother. So before they exhumed the body, police would have gone around our Rondon and be arresting everybody in that Rondon. You know, and if that had happened, you would have created more problems, to the point that, you know, one of those elderly might eventually maybe fall ill, and maybe, you know, we'll start losing people. I mean, I find it incredible. I find it incredible. Now, having said, I would eventually come back to the security in Anambra State. And if you are from the Southeast, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. As we say in Igbo, agwo no n'akịrịka. Agwo no n'akịrịka. Onye kpatalụ nkụ ahụ si ngwere bịa lie ọrụ n'ọgbọ anyị akpatago nkụ ahụhụ. But before I go on to the security, I think there is something I found amusing and at the same time interesting. Are you aware, Nigerians, you don't have petrol? We don't have petrol now. 1 liter. We are lucky. We buy 500 naira. You know, that's why I keep saying people, go and put, if you have the money, just like myself, do solar. Forget all this rubbish so that you no longer have any nonsense to, you know, do solar. You can do 3.5 kVA, 5 kVA, it doesn't matter. Do solar. Honestly, I'm not kidding you. You can start with 2 batteries, 4, 8, 16, it doesn't matter. But this noise, it racks me, it makes me, you know, it gives me migraine when all the time. But in the midst of this fuel scarcity, your president, the one that is ever young, he's running away. He's gone back to London, his second home. So those of you in London, go and say thank you to him. You know what I mean. Go and welcome him. You know, there is no fuel scarcity. I don't know if you people in London, if you have fuel, but I don't know if people in London, if you have fuel. If you have fuel, you better drive to the hospital and say, Baba, we say, make we come thank you, or welcome to London. Just go and say welcome to London to him. And meanwhile, while that is ongoing, we have our brothers, our sisters, our daughters, and our sons stuck in Ukraine. There is a city called Sumy, S-U-M-Y. We have over 550 students, Nigerians, 550 stuck at the border between Russia and Ukraine. These students are stuck. And it beats me and it makes me unhappy. I pick my words careful here. Because I reached out to those in authority. And I think, you know, telling them to stay calm. I know many of you must be watching now. Telling them to stay calm makes me unhappy. And I feel that you people do not appreciate the consequences and the level of desperate, of desperation that is kicking in now. Honestly, we have our children in Ukraine. They are everywhere, but the one that bothers me is the city that Russians have been bombing. We have our children and the universities, and they are still in the hostel. Please, government, you must use your embassy in Russia to negotiate, maybe with the United Nations, put them in buses. I was told that the journey between Sumy into the border is about 2 hours, and into Russia is about 5 hours. That is the closest. Heading to Poland or heading to some other place is about 20 hours. So the closest and the easiest way for them to get out, because the Russians are already in Sumy. is for these children. I say children because it hurts me. Some of them are actually 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You know the trauma these children are going through now? Hearing bombs every single time. Minister of Foreign Affairs, please, you guys should get your acts together. Do everything possible. Well, I heard also read that Mr. President has approved 3.6 billion naira for the evacuation. I hope that money is utilized. I hope if APs and I can't remember the other name that's going to go into evacuation, I hope APs is not going to do it pro bono as he has done during the time of COVID, that he's going to be paid for the services rendered. But it hurts to know that our children are there. Indians has been able to evacuate their people. However Indians did it, then you must learn from them and you do it. It's only Nigerians and other people from the SO countries that are not able to get their people out. It's disturbing. Very, very disturbing, I must say. Very, very disturbing. Thank you everyone for watching. Ezioku says he drove his aeroplane to London. Huh. No. This is a government of aeroplane drivers, so they can drive aeroplane. Okay, now here you have a minister, and this minister is called Adamu, speaking to
your salary.
Now, this is Student Union, I believe Student Union president. I must say the following, for the sake of being objective. He made some allusions that were not, the person that is speaking, that were not right, or they were not correct. He said that the minister went to, that he shared one of the photos in what's it called, in the social media, where he had gone to visit one of the children that was graduated from the university. I think that was in London. But it turned out is for Adamu, it's not actually true. But again, what this video will show is the way those that ought to govern, those that ought to be in charge in Nigeria treats you and I. Because the actions you see here is not acceptable. Watch.
Be paid. Like the salary of the lecturer will be paid. We want to really know what is happening. So if it's for us to take a cross on us, we'll be able to take that. So we are tired of this incessant strike on our education sector. Nigerians should look at Nigerians who want to migrate from Ukraine to back to Nigeria. It showed the radical attitude of our government toward the education sector. That is why Nigerians are leaving this country to study outside the country.
Exactly. You can imagine up in one city, up to 500 students in one city in the Ukraine studying. Many of them, it shows you the level of, on this one, I agree with him 100%. No one cares.
Because our government has bastardized our education. They have killed the primary and secondary school education in this country. And you can only see the children of the poorest to attend public primary and secondary school. Now, all our lecturers, I can say it equivocally, that all our lecturers, all honorable ministers, we saw it on social media. You celebrated your son who graduated in a country, as a university outside this country. We appreciate that.
You see, I think there is allusion here, because there is, if I must be fair to all, I'm the objective in my analysis. I must say, I must be fair to everyone. I think the assertion here is incorrect. I'm not saying that Adamu doesn't have a child in abroad. I don't know. But if he does, it's not what he saw. And that's what actually eventually ilked the minister. He reacted to.
Our parents also have that money to send us outside the country. But we are in this country, then we should enjoy what we are paying for. So we want an adequate funding of education in this country. Honorable Minister, our message is we want to go back to class. We want our school to be open. If our school is not open, We have seen it. It's not a threat. When we said we are coming out, as I speak, nearly the Niger road is blocked, Benue is blocked, Adamawa is blocked. If care is not taken, this will be worse than NSAS. Thank you and God bless you.
So instead of coming here, you should have addressed your lecturers there.
You see, now let me address Mr. Minister. This is the arrogance of power. This is what he does too. Because he's a student, you see here, because he's a student, your mind is already telling you that the man that spoke is a child. That's what it means. In your mind, you're only looking at him as a child. You did not take cognizance of what he said, forgetting that, yes, he didn't get the fact right. And so what? And so freaking what? My attitude here is, Mr. Minister, he had said something. He is not correct. You missed an opportunity to educate him. That's why you are Minister of Education. Sorry, I forgot that this man is a Minister of Education. Odumeje, where are you? Odumeje, come on. We have a Minister of Education. And this happened in his front.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go here. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day, say tickle. Say tickle.
See, he's the Minister of Education, but we are here tickling. Okay? What you said is not correct, and I find it disgusting. No, I find your actions disgusting.
Perhaps the only point that you made that is worthy of even attention is you said students should be involved in this, and I think probably this is a very good thing.
Thank you, sir.
And it is the only thing I'm going to take out of what you have said here.
Look at it. The only thing he's going to take out of what he said is that the students should be involved. Do I need to be even translating what? Okay. Wake up. I shouldn't be translating what he said. I believe all of you understand what he said.
Thank you very much.
This is it? This is it? Now, at this point, I think this is where I believe things have gone wrong. The minister had no right to walk out on those. You know, it shows it shows lack of respect. He is the Minister of Education, but appears not to be educated. Or did he go to school in Australia?
I have so many power. I have a bit of shaker. I have never touched those ones. I have the boost kabaj. Yes. I have ganduka gandusa. Mbeg Iwalonius.
If you know, Odumeje just started shaking like this, and there was one man, 69 years old. He was telling us 3 days ago that he is a youth, and while he was saying it, his microphone was doing like this. I'm not. I hope you know who I'm speaking to. But on a serious note, a minister of education, not educated enough to educate someone who has gone astray. If the person in question said things that were not correct, maturity would have been you sit down there, digest it. You know, calm down, take a deep breath. First of all, you missed. Honestly, it's sad because he missed an awful opportunity for him to have addressed the child. No, I wouldn't say the man in question in a language you would understand. Yes, he made some point. You take the point on board, but I mean, you start by saying I think you get it wrong. You know, this is the reason why you to do fact check, blah, blah, blah. It's wrong. My picture was not online. My child or whatever, not online. My children didn't go to school, blah, blah, blah. But I agree with you. You made an excellent point here. You know, sometimes leadership in Nigeria is, or leadership in general, actually, is more about communication, being able to engage your audience, in this case, your citizens. Look at Ukrainian president. Russia came in, rather than begin to, if it's an African head of state, everybody is looking for a way to zap out of the country. But I mean, he keeps, addressing the people. Ours. Do you know that the number of children we have in Ukraine is enough for you to address the nation? No. As I go London, me. If they go London, what is it happening? In Nigeria, it go like this, it go like this. My eye, it go like this now. Because if I say Buhari now waiting, what is happening in Nigeria? What is going to happen? What is happening? Is your government doing well, Buhari?
The government has failed to do its principal duty of protecting life or property.
Well, you talk on me. The government have failed. If the government is failing very yamutu. You know the government. Government it don't fail. If the government he fail. Babu ni fail. Fail at the quas. Well, 1 liter and a pipe 100 nearly. Pipe 100. What didn't they sell me for pipe 100? You know, pipe 100 in a $1. For country is not is it produce. Well, I know that. Country I they produce me well, I know that. You know what angry? But every Samaritan I don't happen, it don't go London. It don't go London. If they go London, my wife for room to go where it go Dubai. For all the governors for this country, corruption country, what did they do? They go London. Nah, they go Dubai. You go sing a happy birthday. Bhutan in Nigeria, that's our kind. Babri Brini. Oh, I done best. If I the best, but if he telling me Kagani Buhari, what I do are good, I go laugh. If he bring me now, say Kai, make it a Kwamzana, what I do are good, I go laugh.
You.
He look on. He don't laugh at me. He say, you, Mazi, go, gaga. You see the man, he laugh at me. If they tell him truth, he laugh at me. It's not good. If he make it, they go now, they go bring somebody, say, okay, how Nigeria they perform? Alaji Kazaure, Zana, how Nigeria be? How they for your eye? You the National Assembly, I then call you and I say, okay, tell me, Nigerian economy, what in it do?
Our economic is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking, shaking. So even not because of this.
You see, our economy is the blink, is the shake. Is the blink, is the shake. Kai. Our economy is the blink, is the shame. The only person I did talk me for common sense for this one, if you go for that one where that big military, you know that military, that big military, he talk me for every time for video. He go call me, say, na 70-year-old man, na imumu ibi.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be.
See, they've left you. So, nah. They have left you and they've gone to London. You there here. No fuel. No electricity. No internet. No water. No road. Kai. And we will vote. The ones it say you don't vote. they will say the happiness more because they have voted. They have voted.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we'll happiness more, isn't it? So then please, I want beg them, we suffer almost 10 hours we are standing because of what we want. We need change. And then the person we need, he's the one on the party we want, isn't it? So please, we want change.
Change? What kind of change?
The change of situation which we are now.
What is the situation you are in?
Situation of sufferness.
Brother, it's not to me I talk up. It's not to me I did talk to me. Because everybody, we are in the situation of sufferness. Kagani me, he don't suffer. He don't suffer too much. Look at me. He don't, I go wrinkles. I don't be like this. Before, my waist. No be if you tell me my waist now, you go buy me trouser. Make you know try. Before, my waist, Kagani na 38. But now, my waist, I go in at 35 and half. You see, because since the president, I don't talk to me, say, anybody, if he work very hard, you go look at me, at the lose me weight. If he work me, if the president, he don't look at me, the inspector general of police, he say, Kai, this man, the waiting people where I don't go school, they call him Kwefi I. Kwi performance in the equator, whether they call him Kwefi I. So he said, now your Kwefi I to talk because you are doing very well is when you are losing weight. You know, pity like, are they telling me? Kagana, they talk, Buhari, come, talk to me. Buhari, come talk to me. Are they losing weight in it?
Are we likely to use a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?
No, I have just seen the IG. I think he is still losing weight. So I think he is working very hard.
See, it's not to me. I know talking, Buhari, you talking, if they lose weight like me, you don't lose. You see, I they count my ribs. 1, 2, diabetes, uku, shida. See, I don't count them. Before, if you know, I know pity hold to myself, but now you don't lose weight. Everywhere you don't, I think, Nigeria, Nigeria, Basao. So for closing here, people, come back my close because they say charity, not be charity for your girlfriend. It's not that one charity. They talk me the charity for. If you want to do something, maybe this one bad people, if they watch me. If these bad people, where if they watch me, if I talk me charity, you could think somebody charity where you don't go for as a room. No, it's not. So, on this one, I will conclude with the security in the Southeast. Get your earplug. There is fire on the mountain. Run. We have a serious problem, people. In the Southeast, we have a serious problem. Ekwuheku melonu. Ekwuheku na-egbu okenye. Anụ ha anụ na-egbu nwata. Atụọla ọmala atụọla ofeke n'isi n'ọhịa. The Southeast is turning into something that is going to consume all of us, and it is scary. The Southeast, I repeat, is turning into something that is so scary that if care is not taken, it's going to consume all of us. People are now killed every day without consequences. Within the last 1 week, in Anambra, we had about 20 people gunned down by cultists because they attended a burial in a Benebe or cannot. I say, may their souls rest in peace. And that is not going to stop because they might go for revenge. And if they do, we are in a bigger mess. The same day in Oko, Anambra State, Agwaratan, the hometown of late Dr. Chief Alex Ekweme, there was a gun duel. Lives were lost. The same day in Ecuador, lives were lost. The next day in Sofia, a man, I couldn't show the pictures here because it's so horrible, shot an evangelist, shot in his car, sitting down in the evening. The next day, a friend of mine, whom we all stayed together this Christmas, he was among those that donated, the local village vigilantes, the Sienna that they use, by nickname Peter Obi from Ezinekta. He was killed in Obo. His crime, he left his family, he left his business to visit the state of his birth, to attend to funeral, a wake on his way back. He was killed at Obo. Now, there is my list. As it stands today, heed the advice if you so wish. You're watching me from the diaspora. You want to come home. My candid advice, honestly, I've never done this since I've been broadcasting for so many years. I do not engage in scaremongering. But please, in the name of God, stay put for now. Stay put if you can. Now, we talk about Obo. We talk about Lilu. We talk about Osumo. An estate mogul based in Port Harcourt, Chief Gabe Ofoma, from Nnewi, was gunned down on his way back to Port Harcourt at Lille before Ihiala. That breaks my heart. You know, if somebody was shot in the leg, you can talk about, or even kidnap. I don't know. Not that I'm justifying anything, but people, listen, this human life is sacred. There are things that, why I'm saying this, bearing in mind that my audience are international people here in Nigeria, everywhere. I bear that in mind, but this can no longer continue. We cannot be killing ourselves in this manner. People, I feel like crying because the thing is getting out of hand. For what, if I ask? Innocent people. The same people, your fellow victims. Come on, come on. Let no one come here and talk the nonsense and rubbish of, oh, no, it's been done by foreigners. Come on, don't, please. Unsubscribe and just block me. Go away. Don't, please. The water is getting us here. If care is not taken, everyone will be consumed. Now, watch this video that I'm about to play and think about it. On that note, I'll say good night to all, but I want us to watch this video because this video, reason why I want us to watch video, sorry, if you do not understand Igbo, you don't understand what they are saying, I will translate nothing. But I would want us to watch it to understand where I am coming from. Because my heart is heavy that people can no longer come to the place of their birth. Yet you would have the infantry to blame others. And when you blame others, the people you blame, you go to their homes and you find succor. But your own home, you put it on fire. How is it that you come into your house, you knock at the door and you run away and say, oh, who is knocking? Come on, unless truth is said to us, we cannot be free. The Bible says that only truth will set us free. Yes, there might have been things that have happened in the past. Mistakes were made. But there is nothing and there is no justification for this level of madness. And I will keep repeating, it is nothing but madness. No one. No one destroys his own home and blames others for destroying his home. No one does it. No one with gray matters in between the skull does it. I used to think, Igbo si ike na Igbo m ife, ana m ajụzi onwe m ma ọ bụkwa ọ bụzikwa Igbo bụ Igbo na-eme ife a. Bụrụ anyị na-eme ya, nọ ndị ọzọ na-eme ya. Kedu ka ihe si n'ọrụ ndị ọzọ wee batabeghị wakpoghị mbụ, wakpoghị bụ wakpoghị ịtọ. Chọọ! Iweta anyị n'isi. Alili ebuem Igbo. Alili ebuem. Alili ebuem. Ife Igbo ji bili ka anyị kabara alụ na-egbupụsị na ụmụazị anyị. Let's take a step backwards. Please. Please. On that note, I will say thank you all for watching. Stay and enjoy this video that I'm going to play for you. Make of the video whatever you want. Make of the video whatever you want to make of it. But we must look inward. Our political elite, you failed us. You failed us. If I had my way, I would impeach all of you, from A to Z, with no exception. You failed us. You kept quiet for too long. You didn't act when you ought to have acted. Now the chicken, they say, has come home to roost. Alili ebuem. Alili ebuem. My heart is heavy and I am pained. Before I show you the video now, for those of you who are joining me, and if you haven't subscribed to this platform, please do. But if you think you want to come and argue and still live in denial, please leave me to live in denial. Or leave me to live in my own world. I do not. What bothers me most is that I do never phantom in my life that I will be alive to see where disagreement in approach and disagreement in processes, how things should be done, a Republican people with independent mind, rather than argue and talk about things. No, if I argue with you, then I become someone who is to be killed. In which country, how many people are you going to kill? The same thing you blame Nigeria in doing is what you are doing to yourselves. But this truth must be said to us in our faces. And those that I have spoken to privately, you know my stand on this. I feel so disappointed. The political leaders, especially the governors, I feel disappointed. The reps are not even better. Everybody for their pockets. Just amassing wealth, amassing wealth. Where is the spirit of Onyaga na Nwanne by M.I. Okpara? I keep playing that to us. That is the principle that drive this platform. Where is that spirit? What we have now are men. Oh, yeah. Let me not even get started. But before I play you the video as my signing out, listen to the principle that drives us and where we should be headed to. The principle of Onyaga and Nwanne, the principle, forget, I've said this several times, forget the center, fix down here, bottom up. Thank God yesterday the National Assembly voted for most of the things we've been clamoring for, unbundling some of the exclusive lists. Now, if the president is able to sign it, the deal is on. Generation of electricity is now within the states. You can generate, distribute. It's no longer, if the president assents to it. You can look into aviation, what's it called? Rail. These are things that, when done, let's get serious, people. But somewhat, everybody is so fixated in Abuja. Oh, Abuja, Abuja, Abuja. Whereas our house at home is burning, people. Our house at home is burning. Sometimes I wonder, just this minute clip that I will show you, the life of M.I. Okpara, what will he be thinking in his grave, if there is anything like that, that somebody after death could actually think, or could sit down wherever he is and look at what has become where he once wanted to be the best, to a point that that place became the fastest, one of the fastest growing economy, not only in Africa, but in the whole wide world. When men were men. Guitar.
Ikenga. Oh, Ikenga. Shall yet see your sunrise, Ikenga. Shall yet see your sunrise.
My first encounter with him was in December 1940.
He was a gifted man all round. There is no area you talk about or you walk about that he will not show you how it is done.
He was able to use cocoa, palm oil, and a few other products locally to run one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
That he was named M.I. Power.
Later, Dr. Michael Okpara.
Okpara took over at a time when there were no institutions.
Even though the eastern region was the poorest of the regions at the time.
He was a pioneer. He had to lay the foundation for this.
Whatever he sets his heart on, which is good, he will see to it that it is done properly.
From January till December, there was always a new project, that was commissioned.
He's a very pragmatic person, but always rooted in the people.
Like that, as if he was so, he was in such a hurry that he wanted to do so much.
Unfortunately, the Civil War dislocated so many things.
I personally felt extremely sad.
Because the ideas and the principle which they stood for, their successors in many cases didn't follow. And that's where we are seeing to today.
Onyaga la Nwanne,
That's leave nobody behind. Philosophy of the Igbo community. That's what it built into.
The politics of then was politics of principles.
Truth was that he was an honest man. He was really a nationalist. He didn't build a house, even in his hometown. He was a dedicated Nigerian of Igbo extraction.
Down forever. We shall rise again. We shall yet see our sunrise. You can't get sunrise.
What sometimes gives me a glimmer of hope is the last word on this clip. We shall rise again. The sun shall rise again. We shall one day wake up and fight and liberate ourselves and rebuild that which we are known for. Why I choose to speak, if nobody in an Igbo is willing to speak, I'll tell you why. In 2016, and I'll bore you with this. In 2016, February 16th, 2016, people were killed in Aba when they went to pray. A couple of months later, no, even let me stay in Aba. Even a small boy was shot with his rucksack. Not only that people were killed, sometimes, they were eventually, some of them were bombed. So when we found out what was happening, as the president of Ibekune then, we dispatched people to go and get us visuals, people who were close to, and they went to get the visual. Eventually, that visual was published. Go back to Njenje Media here, it is still. That was the first time YouTube took down this platform in 2016 for violating their whatever rights, because I was so gory. And that, the organization that I led there in Igbo Ekunia took it up, took Buratai and Buhari, not only to court, but also to ICC. Eventually, a rapporteur, whatever it's called, was sent to Nigeria, blah, blah. The case is still ongoing as I speak to you now. Operation Python Dance 3, because of what we saw in 1 and 2, we went to court, Federal High Court. Okay. These are documentations. Personally, if I criticized when Bridget, the woman from Imo State, I never met her, I don't know her, I don't know the family, I don't bloody care. But she was beheaded in Kano. And her killers were let free. We went to court. Still in court to get justice. If I spoke up then when these things were happening, is it when MNA happened or what that I never spoke up? It will be an aberration that I only speak up when it is done by outsiders. Then when it is done internally, then I keep quiet. No. No. Equity demands that will be fair and justiciable to all. When death is death, whether now you kill me, now my brother kill me, now my enemy kill me, death is death. It is not right that your brother will be stopped. Why? That he has an SUV. You shoot him. The things that we never believed will happen in Anibo is happening. People, I am outraged. If you people are not getting these videos, it's madness. To a point that we will kill a police officer. Remember, you read them in audios, everything. You say, oh, Akaluka was killed in Kano and his whatever was held up in his head was held up and everybody will cringe. Suddenly, in Imo State, people will be kidnapped, go into the bush, held them there, traditional rulers, and we see them. They make videos, put gun in their mouth. Hey, you are the reason why we haven't gotten whatever we want. This, that. Come on. You kill one, you begin to roast the body of a fellow Igbo. You eat the body like you eat chicken. And you want me to keep quiet? If we must condemn it, evil is evil. What is going on here, people? It is nothing but evil. Evil. Oh. Honestly. I never believed that someday will come that one will be in this position to say that my people, we are not getting it, please. We are not getting it. Both those who are angry, both our politicians, people, we are not getting it. Now, in my conversation this evening with Chief Dr. Flora Ilonzo, for those of you who are joining me new, she said the following here. I put caveat. These are not my words. She just told me something that she saw, and she said, put it out. She said, send it to Saludo, send it to Obiano. I said, well, I can tag them. I mean, and this is it. That we should pray for Anambra State. If you don't follow me on Twitter, please go to Twitter. Follow me at Mazes, okay? We should tag them that on so date, something is going to happen. Why I am heartbroken is she made allusion to those who could be behind it. She made allusion. She doesn't speak. You can imagine as of 1967, a woman that has done things with precision. Her interview is on this platform. How she would tell the Biafran army, the first time she said it, to evacuate the Biafran children at Uli. They ignored her. Within 8 hours, they went in there, bombed everywhere. They said, no, hold on. Go and look for that woman that said we should evacuate baby and whatever. And Nigerian way, whether in Nigeria or Biafra, all of them are the same. Rather than go and invite her, the Biafran soldiers went and arrested her. So it just black people. Well, long story short. And they started using her. So sometimes she sees. She was one telling me that actually eventually she camped in because where do you have the Oga airstrip to my house? It's less than, if you're walking 20 minutes walk, if you're driving 3-5 minutes drive. She said she lived somewhere or camped somewhere around my house then today. And her job was just basically tell the Biafran army, evacuate this place. Nigerian army will throw bomb. And with precision, it does happen. So if a woman of that today, this is what she did in 1967, 67, 68, 69. So if she calls me up and say, Maz, I want you to tell the government this, okay? No be my mouth, no be me talking. It's a direct quote that between this 14th and 18th, people should pray that something might happen in Anambra. I pray sincerely that no life is lost because enough blood is shed. Enough. Enough. And when I take some of your questions, I'll address this question before I play us the video I promised us and end with it. I read something that, I think is from someone, I think a lady called Amanda. Amanda, let me get your, I'm not going to be like the minister, minister of education that is not educated. Let's calm down. Let's have a conversation like siblings. Amanda, you said the following. Don't you think that outsiders might be behind the killings in Igbo land? Amanda, in love, I say to you, my dear sister, no. No outsider will do that, which is happening in Igbo land now. I don't know where you are, but if you're here in Nigeria, if you've moved around, if you've been around, the vicinities, if you've understood how these things happen, you will know that no foreigner can do this and get scot-free. If you have communities at the fringes, that's why, like what happened in Ozowan, at the border communities, that's why I see sometimes what happened in Ebonyi, at the border communities, bang, they strike, they leave, and that's it. But you cannot, when you wake up, foreigner will come, be in Anambra, strike here, people will die. Go there, people will die. Go there, people will die. Go here, people will die. Tomorrow he comes back, he starts again. That when the ikoro sounds, the roots will be blocked. I'm the only person that can know where and how to move is an insider. On that note, people, where is my Nzu? Because I want Ndi Ichie na Ndi Egede to pay me witness that on this date, I used my Nzu and I said that Mbosi Eke, na Mbosi Orie, Mbosi Afo, na Mbosi Nkwu, na ma agụkwa agụgụ wee sị na ọ nwụrụkwa onye ọbụla aka ya dị n'imebi ya n'Igbo ya wekwa mekwanụ ndị Ichie na Ndị Egede gbakwaranụ m osialụ egwu m ka ọ dị m n'obi kpọọnụ m nwata na mbụ nwata na m na-asa arụ n'afọ. Yes, kpọọ m na o nwụrụ nke mma, ya nwụrụ nke mma, onwe nke mma ntinye n'ive na ma agọla agọ na ma asịsị welu gbuo mmadụ mee nke a memina anijidekwa m. Mana onye ọbụla nwe aka n'ihe na-eme n'ala Igbo na-emebi ya n'Igbo, ma ọ bụ politishan ma ọ bụ onye nkịtị, biko nụ na ọ gbajigwo dọlụ ana Igbo na ihe azọ ọtụ ya etu aka nsigo ka ọ ya ele ise. ụmụnne m, on that note, I will say, how do you know the killers are evil? Okay, don't worry. As no onye atụwala inu kọwala ya na ego eji nọ nne ya n'ala iyi ọ bụrụ iyi ka mkpọ gị n'onye inu ka ntụ. So I can say that what all we must be demanding now is that the killings in the southeast must stop. The killings in the southeast must stop. What should bother us is that we should not bother ourselves who is behind it. If it's me behind it, if it's you behind it, we shouldn't be bothered who. All we want is to stop, and to stop now. Lives are sacred. Our lives are sacred. The things we criticize elsewhere is happening. The ego. The things you and I, you see them happen in Boronu, we cringe. We see them happen here, we cringe. It's now happening in our backyard. And we are still asking, oh, are we sure? Are we this? Okay. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the video. I think the video will be about 5 minutes. Just watch the video. This is about the security of the Southeast. I recap again, please, if you can. especially if you are in diaspora. This guy came back from Japan, from Oga. He rode in a Toyota Corolla, old Toyota Corolla 2006 or thereabout. But because he was looking fresh, he was kidnapped. Luckily for him, he was only kidnapped. He paid 5 million. Now tell me, would he ever come back again? Last Christmas, we risked it, many of us. But I mean, Madoya, but also Madoya. But you know, at some point, I don't know, the whole thing doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I say good night. If you haven't subscribed, please, by all means, do. And on that note, I say watch the video and good night, everybody. Thank you very much. I am still Mazi. It's okay. Bye for now.
Okay, hand on a hit up on So now, Ojo na to here route side.
Ha rutere ebe a.
Ke side?
Ha rutere ebe a.
Okay.
Ọ bọmbụ m na nwata aka tụrụ. Chịọchiri azụ otu bọmbụ otu ọkwa anyị tụrụ ha. Chịọchiri azụ.
Ndị ahụ ndị iberibe.
Ha na-awara na.
Zoological Republic.
Animal Kingdom.
Ha chọrọ ịbịa ma aka. Ha chene ebe ahụ Yoruba land. Ha chene bụ ndị Amateku. Ya gazie. Abịa ka akwa ha mgbada nwụrụ anwụ n'echi. Ndị asef mata ihe na-eme ha ga-ama na ha wụ ọgụ youth ọkwa ọtago. Ha wụ ọgụ youth. Ndị na-echekwa ha inside ka nkụ. Ọhanwa bụ ndị na-etighị ọkụ n'ime ọhịa. Ọhanwa. Mad people everywhere. Date it again.
27.
Today.
28 to court.
27. Okay, she will 28.
Yeah.
Or court.
Yeah, I think the human rights workers and the cottage.
Zoological Republic. 27th February 2022. These people, they don't have any other option than to surrender. We know that it's the Fulani herdsmen that are supposed to carry cow, they waka. Now they don't drop the cow, carry gun. But na kick bazaar, how maka, how honaya. Now what Zoological Republic of Nigeria. That's it. They happen for Russia and Ukraine. So Hachevia Makana La Biafra. Oh, and boys are quite go other Biafra or there too. And kick Baza. So how about how to tell the net in Ezoko? But the place I got park and I look on the high nature. Okwa and the motor and the travel can of check how much that place.
Man, the way you to
Season on the ESM. Kahangotara. My non government. But sometimes I start asking myself, why is it that anytime they ask them to go and fight Boko Haram, they will say they don't have bullet, they don't have bomb, they don't have this and that. But if it is a time to fight innocent civilians, they will have bomb, they will have bullet, everything double. Nigeria. Nigeria more will go north. And I think so with the beginner for this time. It doesn't matter how many years it may take to fight this war. So how are you ọkụ? Bueno, ndị iberibe just nnọọ chibịa gbachi ụlọ ndị mmadụ ọkụ ha chee n'ebe a obi Igbo then say here na obi Igbo or na Port Harcourt where then go just declare state of emergency, you to go just keep silent, or the security on ground go fire them. Today is 27 February 2022 here in Anambra, close Imo State boundary. That's where the zoological army, police, combined forces trying to come and penetrate to intimidate innocent people, but the security on ground have said no, enough is enough. When you mark off this is the time to explain what you believe, and keep bazaar. Okay, or just have bashol on the madok, have buy hat tower, but the youth take and keep bazaar. The youth do not agree, make them burn. Yeah. They are trying to burn down everywhere, but the youth will give them the time. Stay tuned. We may bring the update for you. They are very far away from the location where we are, which is very soon. If they come below, we can still bring update for you. Stay tuned.